Okay, this is part 2 of our live lesson. We want to look at multiplying sign numbers. Okay, so 2 times 3 gives me 6. A positive times a positive is equal to a positive. -8 times -2 is 16. A negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, negative, two negatives cancel each other out. We talked about that in the previous video. But more importantly, when we're multiplying with negatives and we have an even number of negatives in our problem, the negatives will cancel. Now, why is that? Because it takes 2 negatives to cancel. And if you have an even number of them, and 2 is even, and 2 will divide that number evenly, this is why they would cancel. A negative times a positive is a negative. Okay, now what I can do is move this negative on the outside, and 30 times 2 is 60, so that's negative 60. If you have an odd number of negatives, and odd is 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, then you're going to have a negative in your problem. So when multiplying, then you would have a negative in your answer. So here's a problem here. 1, 2, 3. So instead of saying a negative times a negative is a positive times a negative is a negative, etc., just go through and count the number of negatives. 1, 2, 3. And that means you're going to have a negative in your answer, and then just multiply the numbers. If you have an even number of negatives, the negatives cancel each other out. Okay. Odd is 1, 3, 5, 7. Even is 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, let's take a look at dividing with negatives. Dividing and multiplying go hand in hand because in order to divide, we end up multiplying. So 4 divided by 2, positive divided by positive is a positive. -30 divided by -15, a negative divided by a negative is equal to a positive. Because see, when we check this, a -15 times a +2 is a -30. See, to check division, we're going to multiply. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 100 divided by -20 is a negative, so a positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative. Now, this negative is in the denominator. We can have it in the numerator as well. So this is -100 divided by +20, which is a negative. So a positive divided by a negative, negative divided by a positive will give us a negative. So let's summarize. Multiplying sign numbers. Positive times a positive is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. A negative times a positive. Positive times a negative is a negative. Dividing with sign numbers, positive divided by positive is a positive. Negative divided by negative is a positive. Negative divided by positive, positive divided by negative is a negative. Okay, notice here you have an odd number of negatives, so this is why this is negative. Even number of negatives here. All right, let's talk about exponents. So this number is raised up high, so this is called the exponent. This number is below, it is called the base. Okay, now this is read 3 squared, or 3 to the second power. It means 3 times 3, which is 9, and not 3 times 2, which is 6. This is read 5 to the third power, or 5 cubed. It means 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125, not 5 times 3, which is 15. This is read 6 to the fourth, 6 to the fourth power. Now we don't have another way to say this. It does not mean 6 times 4. It means 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, 1296. Now let's take a look at this problem. Okay, and this is very important. The exponent goes to the number immediately below it. and the number immediately below it is a 3. And so we want to put an asterisk here because this oftentimes trips students up. Okay? So this is 3 squared, which is 9, and then this is in front of it. So this makes this a negative 9. This problem is different. This 2 goes to this group here, which is a negative 3, the quantity. So that means negative 3 times negative 3, which is 9. All right, let me add another exponent problem. 4 to the 0 is 1. So any number except 0 to the 0 power is 1. Okay. All right, let's look at order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All of us remember this particular saying, and the P stands for parentheses and all of your grouping symbols first. E stands for exponents. MD, multiplication and division from left to right, whichever comes first. AD, addition and subtraction from left to right, whichever comes first. Okay, so let's use everything that we've talked about. So this is plus, and then this is division. Division comes first. So we have to use our rules of dividing sign numbers. Negative 6 divided by positive 3. That is a negative 2. So 3 plus negative 2, a negative plus a negative is a negative, and this gives us negative 5. Whoa. Okay, let's take a look at this. And so when you see a problem like this, you probably might be fearful, but you don't have to be. So let's take our time. Grouping symbols first. This is a grouping symbol. This is a grouping symbol. So we need to do the grouping symbol first. 3 minus 3 gives me 0. So I keep this negative. I put 0 in the parentheses, and I put this 3 on the outside. Plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 4 squared. Now 0 to the third power is just 0, and we can't have a negative 0. That's just 0. 4 to the second power, that's 4 squared. So that's 4 times 4, which is 16. So 0 plus 16 gives me 16. All right, here we want to evaluate. Anytime you want to evaluate with letters, you always want to put parentheses. So it says, let C be negative 6. So I come here where C is, and I put parentheses, negative 6 squared plus 5, and I put parentheses here, negative 6. And then I use order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Well, exponents come first. So negative 6 squared, negative 6 times negative 6, a negative times a negative is a positive. So this is positive 36. Now this is plus, and this 5 in front of this parenthesis means multiplication. So that's 5 times negative 6. Multiplication comes before addition. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. So this is 36 plus negative 30, subtract 2. Well, now I have addition and subtraction, and I operate from left to right, whichever comes first. 36 plus negative 30 is a positive 6, and 6 minus 2 gives me 4. Okay, so I have completed the foundation and background information for using the symbols, the types of numbers, adding sign numbers, multiplying sign numbers, dividing sign numbers, and order of operations. So I will stop this.